How to deal with judgmental people. Ugh! Doesn't it make you crazy? Don't those snarky remarks and negative comments just like kill you sometimes? Why do people have to be like that? So I know you know who I'm talking about. You can picture that one person where maybe you have had like a great idea you wanted to try, or maybe you had a goal you set and you're really excited about it and you're going around telling people you're getting ready for this new adventure, and you get to this one person and they're like, that's really stupid. You know it's not gonna work, right? Or you can't make any money doing that. And they're just like a downer. Or maybe you have got a new haircut and a new outfit and you're out on the town and you run into this person and they say, oh my God, what happened to your hair? And you're just like, really? Don't say anything, right? Well, if you're tired of judgmental people bringing you down and crushing your dreams and goals, this video is for you. So stay tuned. I'm gonna tell you the 3 things you need to know when dealing with judgmental people. That's gonna put everything into perspective and gonna make you crush your dreams and goals rather than having them crushed for you, okay? So if we haven't met before, my name is Erin Cook. I teach busy people like yourselves how to find joy and happiness every day by simplifying and systematizing daily lives and business practices. So let's get to it. Okay, I'm gonna assume you're here because you are somebody that is a go-getter, you're motivated, you have dreams, you have goals, and you are on a mission to live your purpose, right? To live your life the way you were meant to and the way God intended for you to live it. But there's always that one person in your life. Do you know who I mean? Think about that person right now. There's that one person that just, for whatever reason, has to try to bring you down. All right, I'm gonna share this story with you really quickly. I know all about this because I've known a person like this for the last 20 years. And about 10 years ago is when we bought our ice cream stand. Now, my husband and I were physical therapists doing great in business, but we, and myself especially, wanted to go into partners with my parents and buy this ice cream stand. And when we told this negative person that, this is what they said to us. They said, we'll tell you congratulations when you start making a profit. Who says that to people? Like, right? Who says that to people? Don't say anything. But no matter what happens, this person's always dragging us down, me especially. So I know all about that feeling. But 10 years ago, that really ticked me off. I wanted to reach through the phone, grab them, and shake them, right? And just say, how can you be so mean? But I didn't. I bit my tongue. But now it just rolls off my back whenever they have a negative comment because I understand these 3 things that I'm about to tell you. So the very first thing you have to do when you have that negative and judgmental person in your life and they give you a snarky remark, okay? Let's take the goal comment, you know? You have a goal and they're like, you know that's not gonna work. That's not really possible. You can't do it that way. Here's what I want you to know about them. And this is true, and you've probably heard it before, but really, I wanna tell you why it's true. So these people are generally people that are know-it-alls. So think about that one person that's in your life. Are they a know-it-all? Are they somebody that will tell you how to do something, but they won't do it themselves? Maybe they'll say, well, I know how you can get to your goal, but they never get in their own car and drive to their goal. They're kind of stagnant in their life. But what's really happening is they are not living out their purpose. You know, they're not motivated. They're not on track to reach their goals. Maybe they're just lazy. I hate to say that. Some are. Some procrastinate. Some are just content being stagnant and miserable. And I hate that. So these people are not living out their purpose. And that's where they're different from you. Okay? So they're seeing you inside. They're not going to tell you this, but they're thinking, man, that person's doing great. Why can't I be like that? So instead of lifting you up, they're gonna drag you down to their level, okay? And I have this quote. I wrote it down for you because I love this. It says, the person bringing you down is already below you. Does that make sense? Like, and I don't mean below you as a person because we're all created equal in God's eyes, but as far as like being below, here's a scenario. Have you ever heard of the crabs in a bucket? I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard this. I've heard that if you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, they're gonna try to crawl out, but none of them will make it because the crabs will pull each other down before they make it out. Again, I don't know if that's true, but think of that in this scenario. If we're those crabs in this bucket and we're constantly surrounded by the ones pulling us down, we're never gonna make it out. We're gonna keep getting crushed and blown out of the water as far as our goals and dreams are concerned because these people just keep bringing us down, and I don't want that for you. So just think about that. As you're trying to climb out, those people trying to drag you down are already below you. They're just jealous. And you heard that, probably your parents growing up. Didn't they say when somebody was making fun of you, oh, they're just jealous? And I was like, that girl is not jealous. Look how pretty she is. Look how whatever she is, good at sports she is. and I'm over here sucking, you know? And my mom would always say that, they're jealous. But when I stop and think about it, now I know those kids, you know, had problems. Maybe they were jealous, but their only expression of that jealousy was to bring other people down to their level. So you have to understand that mindset and understand it's real. The bottom line is they're not living your dream, and they're watching you try to live your purpose. Okay, so they're not going to enjoy that. They're not going to want you to be happy. They're going to want to bring you down. So that's the very first thing you have to understand when you hear a snarky remark from that one person all the time. Okay, so if you put it into perspective, you got to kind of feel sorry for them. How sucky would that be to have no motivation to reach your goals? The next thing we have to understand when people give you those snarky remarks or those negative comments all the time and they judge you, is that you have to understand opinions are different from reality. And I know that's common sense, but this is what I mean. So let's say with a haircut, just because somebody gives you a negative does not change your haircut. It is what it is. So if you have been working on a goal and you've progressed and you know where you're going, you're that person, right? That's trying to achieve and better themselves, trying to achieve your purpose in life and your dreams and your goals. You're on a mission. You know where you want to go and you know where you got to be to get there. But that one person, their opinion, should not change your reality. What it does is it influences you to pull over to the side and, you know, reevaluate. So if you're in that ice cream truck, let's take this scenario. I have this, work with me, okay? So I'm full of scenarios today. Say you get in an ice cream truck and that's your goal, is to have this ice cream truck, and you're driving towards your goal of the ultimate ice cream truck winner, some contest, okay? So you're driving down the street and people are coming to get your ice cream, and most people love it. But then there's that one person that says, this is like the worst ice cream I've ever had. Why don't you carry XYZ brand? Okay, you're gonna stop and you're gonna think about that. It doesn't change whether or not your ice cream tastes good or not. It is what it is. But you're gonna think about that and you're gonna process it and you're gonna second guess yourself. Now say you go a little bit further down the road and somebody says, well, that's the ugliest ice cream truck I've ever seen, or that's the dumbest music I've ever heard from an ice cream truck, or you're doing something wrong. You're gonna start evaluating and reevaluating everything you've been doing, even if you've been successful to that point, just because of one comment. So picture yourself on your way to a goal and you're in this ice cream truck and people keep doing that to you. Maybe it's just one person over and over again, that one person in your life that you can't get rid of. I have a couple of those, okay? Not mentioning any names, but what are you gonna be doing? You're gonna be getting off path toward what it is you know that you wanna do with your life, okay? And that's their goal, is to try to get you to stop doing that so you don't succeed and they don't feel as bad about themselves. But the more you hear that, if you're taking it to heart, the more stagnant you're gonna become. So you stop the vehicle, what can happen? Well, your ice cream can melt. That can derail your dreams. The longer we pull over to the side and think about these negative comments that people are saying, so if somebody says our ice cream sucks, or somebody says our vehicle isn't a pretty and attractive ice cream truck, we're standing stagnant. And what can happen? Animals can get in there. They can fester and they can eat your ice cream. They can derail the journey that you're going on just by those comments, okay? So visualize that with me. I know it's kind of out there, but that's really what they're doing. So you have to understand that opinions should not change your reality. So I want you to stay in that ice cream truck and drive forward and meet that goal, because negative comments are just opinions. Here's the big deal. The only way those negative comments can crush your goals and dreams, because we've all been there. We've all said, oh, I didn't do this because so-and-so did this to me, or so-and-so didn't let me and I didn't succeed because so-and-so didn't hold up their end, or whatever it is, okay? We've always blamed failure at some point in time on somebody else, but that's not the case. You only get your goals crushed by an opinion if you start to believe it yourself, okay? Let that sink in for a second, because it's true. The only way that person has any power over you is if you start to believe what they're saying. So I don't want you to do that, okay? You can reevaluate on your terms. If you're on a mission and you want to reevaluate your goals, do that, but do it on your terms. Don't do it just because somebody says, hey, your haircut sucks, or, you know, you're looking fat still, your diet must not be working. Whatever they're saying to you, don't sit there and second guess yourself. Now that brings me to point number 3, okay? So we know the mindset of the criticizer. They're just upset because they're not on the path that they want to be on, and you are. Number two, we got to understand what opinion versus reality is, and that opinions can only derail us if we start to believe them. But we also need to know number three, which is understanding our goals. And I know that sounds superficial, but stick with me. You have to know who you are as a person, what your morals are, what your values are, the things that are important to you, and the things that you want to accomplish. Now, if you're not clear on those, it's easy to get derailed, right? If you don't know how to drive to New York City and you're in your car and your GPS isn't working, how are you going to get there? You know the general direction, but you can get derailed, right? You can get derailed by this pretty sign over here that says, oh, fun amusement park this way, whatever, and you decide to go there instead. But it's just, you get derailed by things if you don't know exactly where you're headed. Does that make sense? So what I want you to think of is, do you know where you're going? And is it written out step by step by step? That's the first thing when you are on this mission to whatever goal it is you want to accomplish, and this person that's judging you is having their snarky remark explosion. So that's very important, because if you don't understand that, it's easy to get derailed. I hope that makes sense. I'm really trying to help you understand why people say just let it roll off your back, because it's not easy, is it? We hear those things and we're like, our confidence gets just like crushed when people say things like that. Now, people might be saying, hey, Erin, yeah, I get it, but what do I do if that person is my boss? Maybe they are the judgmental one and I have to keep my boss happy, right? Because they hold the paycheck, they pay my bills. So what do I do if my boss is the one that I have to please? Or maybe you're thinking, my spouse is somebody that I have to make sure is happy because maybe I don't work outside the home. Maybe I stay home and take care of the kids. Or, I don't have an income if something happens and my husband doesn't give me money because he's mad at me. What do I do then? Here's the harsh truth. You can't be in that situation where you are just on one track and the only way you'll succeed is if you follow that one track. And I know that sounds totally not like what I just said. The point being, you have to be flexible in the ways to get there and motivated to continue when something you try doesn't work, okay? So if you get to point A and you want to take a right-hand turn, but you can't, you go to point B a different way, but you know you're going to point B one way or another. Does that make sense? So when you have somebody that you are relying on for your whole meaning of success, whatever that is for you, that can be a dead end sometimes. So what I want you to think about is where you're going, and are you able to do it no matter what anybody else does, because people will fail you, including this negative person or this judgmental person. And if that judgmental person is the one that you rely on for your success in life or your means of survival, you need to have a plan B, because something can always happen, right? And if we think about it a little further, and I hate to bring this up, but think about it, if there's a woman who is married and she doesn't have a job outside the home, can't support herself yet, but she also has never had goals, never tried to work. She's relying solely on this person for their money and their relationship. But what if this person becomes abusive to her? What is she gonna feel like? She's gonna feel stuck, right? Because here I am, I have no plan B, but I can't leave the relationship because I'll be stuck without that person. So think about it that way. You always have to have a plan B, and you have to be motivated and persevere through anything to get to wherever it is you're going. So when you persevere and you plow through and you are just on a mission to get somewhere as far as a goal or a dream, or maybe it's the simple thing where you want to change careers. When I switched from being a physical therapist to a travel agent, do you know the flack I got from this negative person, this judgmental person? It was ridiculous, but by then I didn't care. I was like, yeah, whatever. And now that I'm successful, it doesn't matter, right? But I knew where I was going. But if I let that person, tell me how stupid it was to take a pay cut, tell me how it's not a real job, and I took that to heart because I believed their opinion, right? We don't want to do that. I can reevaluate on my own terms, and I'm happy with where I am. So you define your own success. Don't let somebody else do that for you. And that's the big picture here. So you have to understand these people aren't on a mission for themselves. They want to bring you down to their level. You also have to understand that the only power they're going to have over you is if you let them, by starting to believe their opinion. And then lastly, you need to know where you're going, and you need to make a commitment to that no matter what. And I know you can because you're here. And everybody on this training right now is smart, because you looked at the title and you said, you know what, I want to be able to deal with judgmental people because I want to go somewhere, I want to do something. I don't want them to crush my dreams. We can't blame people though anymore for that. And this is how we take responsibility for it and we just go with it. Screw the other person. Like, sorry for the language, but really, like, those people don't really have any place in your life. And if you can't get rid of them, you have to have a plan B, okay? So take that to heart. And I hope that helped you. So go ahead to findyourfreetime.com. That is a training where I tell you exactly how to evaluate what it is you do each day, how to make it work for you so that you have at least 1 to 2 hours extra a day for whatever it is you want to do. Can you imagine having 60 extra hours a month to do whatever it is you want? Life's too short. It's too short to spend time with negative people and judgmental people bringing you down, and it's too short to work all the time and do things that may not bring you happiness. And there's a way to get those things done and still have time left over for you or your family or your friends. Go to the spa, wherever it is. But go ahead to findyourfreetime.com. I will share that free training with you. It's a free PDF download, and you can go through the training video too if you want to. Both are there for you, and I will see you there. But thank you for joining me. So go ahead and subscribe right here. If you are new to my page, go ahead and follow me. We have trainings every week just like this to help you work smarter, not harder, and to enjoy your life the way it was meant to be enjoyed. And we'll talk to you next time. God bless and have a great day. Go ahead and subscribe. Whoops, hold on, I got arms. I don't want to lift my arms that far, Gary. Let's try that again.